Ghostbuster.org presents The Dangers of Social Media. How does the internet work? It is important to understand not only the benefits, but the pitfalls of social media. For too many young people, social networking has become part of their everyday life. The internet is a system built of three main components. 1. Hardware. Computers, routers, modems, smartphones, etc. 2. Servers. Machines that store information. 3. Protocols. Protocols are a set of rules that machines follow to perform tasks. How do search engines work? Search engine spiders crawl the internet and build an index of the words they find and where they find them. In the front end, they allow users to look for words or combination of words found in that index. Billions of pages are in the index and stay there indefinitely. Everything we put into Twitter and public forums on the internet are indexed and can be found even years later. Search engines don't forget. Why is social networking so popular? Free to join, easy to use, focus on meeting new people, also popular with entrepreneurs. How can it be dangerous, and what you should know? The greatest danger is yourself. Once posted to the internet, the information lives forever. Don't allow social networking to become an addiction and time sink. Loss of control. Think before you post. Loss of personal privacy. The good side of social media. Positive perspectives. The network perspective. Social networking sites are places where young people learn to network. The identity perspective. Social networking sites are spaces for identity construction. The source critique perspective. Social networking sites force young people to be skeptical of what they see and read online. The branding perspective. Social networking sites are places where young people learn the mechanism of branding. The friendship perspective. Social networking sites are places where young people can maintain and nurse friendships, both offline and online. The materialistic perspective. Social networking sites are all about materialism and about having the right brands. The democratic perspective. Social networking sites are places that allow young people to have a voice in society. The social perspective. Social networking sites make young people more social and help them communicate with others. The language perspective. Social networking sites aggravate the written language of young people. On the other hand, their online language is really creative and they do know how to tell right from wrong. The learning perspective. Social networking sites are places where young people can gain important IT competencies. The sincerity perspective. Social networking sites make young people present themselves in a sincere manner in order to avoid being mistaken for a faker. The reassurance perspective. Social networking sites are forums for reassurance and confirmatory messages between young people. Negative perspectives. The negative side of social media. The generation gap perspective. Social networking sites are creating a greater gap between young people and adults. The time-consuming perspective. Social networking sites are places where young people spend way too much time. The antisocial perspective. Social networking sites make young people antisocial and incapable of communication with others face-to-face. The public perspective. Social networking sites are open diaries of young people, but they do not think about the fact that the whole world can read their text and see their pictures online. The pedophile predator perspective. Social networking sites are an El Dorado for pedophiles and predators who want to harm young people. The bullying perspective. Social networking sites are places where young people bully and threaten each other. The body and sex perspective. Social networking sites are sexual playgrounds for young people where they portray themselves in a provocative or soft porn-style manner. The surveillance perspective. Social networking sites are surveillance. Creating your profile on social networks. Since anyone, literally anyone, can see your social networking profile on most social networking websites, you are advised to be cautious. 1. You should keep your profile private and for friends only. 2. Carefully choose the pictures. While you still want to look your best, you are advised against posting a picture that is too revealing or seductive in nature. 3. You are advised to only post your first name in your profile. This will make it more difficult for anyone to try and contact you off of the internet. 4. Do not post detailed information about your family's circumstances, the location of your home, your parents' income, or when you will be leaving for vacation. 5. Use the privacy settings of the social network you are using. If you don't know how, ask a friend for assistance. 6. In your internet browser, go to Tools and set it to delete cookies upon leaving a site. 7. It is also advised that you carefully choose your location. If possible, use a nearby big city or town, especially if you live in a small town. Twitter can easily become one of the most dangerous social media platforms. How? Here's a real-life example. A student posted this on his Twitter: the 10 easiest to pick up girls in the school, with their names in the tweet. At the moment the tweet went public, not only did a dozen other students retweet the message, but Google's search engine stored it. So the next time any of the girl's name was searched for on Google, this tweet showed up in the search results, causing significant embarrassment to these girls. Even if the tweet and its retweets are deleted from the Twitter system, the Google search history will show it for several months or even years. The consequence. Imagine that a few years later, the girls apply for a job and the future boss does a Google search on the girl's name and finds this information on the first page of the Google search. It is normal that employers check out the applicants prior to an interview. The easiest way to perform a check will be on Google. What appears a minor matter today may potentially change people's lives in the future. There were even suicides of similar cases. About online dating. Online dating websites are specialized social networks focused on dating. Unfortunately, the internet has made it easy for individuals to claim to be someone who they are not. While this will not only lead to disappointment when you find out, it could also lead to danger. There have been numerous reports of instances where online dates resulted in abuse or murder. Therefore, you are always urged to be careful and without exception meet your dates in a safe, public place. Consider the future consequences. 1. Your profile. People have been denied work because of information found on social networking sites. 2. Identity theft. There are numerous reports of a 17-year-old girl, Ashley Hall, who was raped, suffocated, and her body dumped in a field in the UK. The girl had been attracted by a picture of a young, bare-chested man who called himself Peter Cartwright, but was Peter Chapman, aged 33. 3. Money scams. Be careful if people want to sell you something online. Check out the return policy, and if possible, use PayPal to make a payment/checkout. Social media horror stories. Everything known about you can and will be used against you. Your religion, sexual preferences, etc. Law enforcement agencies, the police, intelligence agencies are being trained on how to use the internet to be able to track down and collect all the information about you when they need it. An everyday example is, when you post on Twitter that your family goes on holiday for the weekend, you might find that you get home to an empty house on the Sunday evening. More and more burglaries are being planned by Twitter followers. Pedophiles. According to recent statistics, more than 500,000 internet predators diligently search MySpace, Facebook, and other internet sites while disguising themselves as children and teenagers. You are an open book. Small pieces of social media information can make up a complete picture to anyone looking. A woman works at a bank. She uses social media platforms. So what happened? 1. In April, her marital status on Facebook is changed from married to divorced. 2. According to her LinkedIn profile, she works at a bank in a good position. 3. On Twitter, we can find that her ex-partner has her children every second weekend. 4. In May, we read that a 4-day out-of-town company training takes place at the end of the month. Any criminally minded person, the 4 pieces of information provide a complete picture of a possible target. A. We know that the kids are away for the weekend when she's out of town on the company training. B. We also know where she works and that she has a good job with a good income. C. Incidentally, we also know what she looks like since there are pictures of her on 4 different social media websites. D. We simply could wait for her to leave her office, follow her home to learn where she lives. E. Wait for when the time comes for the 4-day out-of-town training, and there's the opportunity to comfortably break in and empty your house while nobody's at home. Cyberbully. You are not anonymous. Enormous implications for both short and long term for Enormous implications, both short and long term, for both the offender and the victim. Legal steps against the perpetrators have been possible and are becoming more and more popular. Parents of a bullied child can initiate legal action against the perpetrator. Note that the chat logs and screenshots of the web page where bullying happens can serve as adequate evidence. In many cases, the consequences of cyberbullying are irreversible. Threatening. Threats through social media are becoming more common. Threat tweets are already a known phenomenon. Children think they are anonymous and see it as a joke. Recently, a 13-year-old boy was arrested after making such a threat tweet. New cybercrime laws put into effect in almost every country in the world to protect the ones who suffer from online threats, cyberbullying, and defamation crimes. How it works. After installing the software, a Ghostbuster icon will appear in the top right corner of your browser. If you are the victim of bullying or receiving any sort of hate messages, you can click the Ghostbuster icon to create evidence. The evidence will appear as a screenshot and you will be able to report. Fill in the title, description, and choose whether you want to report anonymously and/or to your school. And what if there's a classified ghost among your real friends? If you actually have a pedophile in your friends list, a ghost symbol will appear in his Facebook profile picture. Available free resources. 30-page ebook on how to enjoy social networking without fear. For schools, 25-minute live presentation straight to the classroom via Skype lesson on the dangers of social media networking at school age. Visit www.ghostbuster.org.